let me talk to you guys about what went down yesterday on X. So culture. Cardi B and Nicki Minaj were at it again. Nicki Minaj got on X and she began tweeting. She tweeted, "Dear Culture Vulture, your mom is pregnant with another monkey to add to her litter. The gag is that she was jealous of a little baby boy simply because his hair was longer than all four of you bald monkeys put together." So Cardi responds, "Here you go again, starting nice and early, you sick, pathetic, loser, demonic B-word. I said back in 2018, and nobody believed me that you've been..."
Somebody has to say it. Wrong is wrong and right is right. Between Cardi B and Nicki Minaj, I'm not picking no sides, but talking about people's kids is off limits. It's very low.
The internet is trembling again, and this time it feels like deja vu, another chapter in the never-ending saga of Cardi B versus Nicki Minaj. The tension that's been simmering quietly for years just boiled over into one of the ugliest, most public feuds hip-hop has seen in a long time. What started as harmless bragging about numbers quickly spiraled into name-calling, leaked receipts, and accusations that could ruin careers. But underneath all the chaos, fans are starting to wonder, was this just another ego clash, or is there something darker behind it all? Secrets, rumors of addiction, whispers from labels about dropping artists, it's all tangled in this digital storm. So before we dive into the madness, do me a favor, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications, because this story isn't just messy, it's historic. What you're about to hear might change how you look at both of these rap queens forever.
Cardi should just heat.
Yeah.
It takes my excitement out of it if we're not gonna get bars and y'all gonna just be below the belt.
Yeah, I didn't like it. Even when they were going back and forth about record sales and judge yourself against your peers and all that, whether I agree or disagree.
Now that's where I want to. That's where to me, that's the conversation I want to be a part of.
Same. Nicki's last album did something like 228, and Cardi did 200.
199.6 if you let them tell it. But we're gonna get to that. That's
we're
our
in the
next.
same. We're in the same ballpark. Is all I'm saying. Like, it's not like one is blowing the other person out the wall.
Both of their music is too fire for you to really stand on one side of the fence, buddy. Guess what? Guess what's happening in March? Nicki's coming with heat.
Yeah.
Guess what's happening right now? And Cardi should just heat.
Yeah.
It all began with what looked like an innocent moment, Nicki Minaj retweeting her record-breaking numbers from Pink Friday 2. She had every right to celebrate. Her fans flooded timelines bragging about her Spotify streams, vinyl sales, and the kind of chart dominance that reminded everyone she's still the queen. But the internet noticed something odd, the timing. Cardi B had just released her long-awaited album, and everyone was still talking about her massive comeback numbers. So when Nicki's feed turned into a highlight reel of her own achievements, people couldn't help but see it as a shot. It wasn't what she said it was when she said it. The shade wasn't overt, but it was there, lingering like smoke. Each retweet felt strategic, almost surgical, as if she was reclaiming her throne before Cardi could fully rise. Fans began posting split screenshots comparing sales, dissecting data, and fueling an unspoken rivalry that was now roaring back to life. And then, Nicki threw gasoline on the fire. Out of nowhere, she posted a tweet written like a twisted children's rhyme, Barney Dangerous, ABCDEFG, falling off the charts with a big belly. The alphabet pattern wasn't random, it mirrored a lyric Cardi had used in her own track, Magnet, a song already infamous for its shade toward other female rappers. The internet instantly connected the dots. Nicki wasn't playing coy, she was aiming straight at Cardi's jugular. The tweet mocked everything from Cardi's looks and surgeries to her success being temporary. It was venom disguised as clever wordplay. The Barbs celebrated, the Bardi gang retaliated, and Twitter turned into a war zone. Nicki had thrown the first stone in what would become a digital bloodbath, and the fallout was immediate. The diss wasn't just lyrical, it was personal, layered, and designed to humiliate. But Cardi B doesn't cower, she swings back. Within hours, her timeline exploded with responses sharper than broken glass. She tweeted lines dripping with dominance and sarcasm. Coca-Cola Barbie, the power I have make these bees come out of rehab every time. Go to your effing room. That line alone sent the internet into flames. She accused Nicki of obsession, mocking her for having alerts on every move Cardi made. Then came the punchline that felt biblical, "Now kiss my feet." It wasn't just shade, it was a declaration of power. Fans started blasting Magnet again, pushing its streams through the roof as an act of loyalty. The mood online shifted. Suddenly, Cardi wasn't just the underdog anymore.
Because of him making pass at me. It wasn't the that frustrated me the most. What made me most frustrated was the fact that he tried to unalive me after it, when in reality, even though I was drugged, even though I was violated, I never thought that the next step would be my life being threatened because you got turned down. But it's that power complex of wanting what you want when you want it, feeling like you own the things that you pay.
She was the aggressor, the disruptor, the challenger daring to dethrone a queen. It was calculated chaos, and it worked. Within a day, hashtags like number Coca-Cola Barbie and number Cardi1 were trending globally. Nicki, however, wasn't going to let that slide. She retaliated with a storm of new tweets laced with venom. She mocked Cardi's personal life, her relationships, even her pregnancies. Raw dogging pregnant with the fourth, she wrote, knowing exactly how far below the belt she was hitting. Fans gasped, critics groaned, and Cardi's response was immediate and ruthless. She accused Nicki of fertility struggles, suggesting years of procedures and doctors that never worked because of a lifestyle Cardi hinted wasn't as clean as it seemed. It was a shocking low blow, but Cardi said it with her full chest. Then she posted memes of Jay-Z wearing a Barbie wig, mocking Nicki's branding in a way that was both comedic and cutting. It felt like open warfare, a generational battle where no line was too personal, no boundary too sacred. What was once lyrical rivalry had become all-out character assassination. When Cardi posted a photo of Nicki's brother in a pink Barbie wig, the same signature look Nicki flaunts the internet lost it. Everyone knew the context. Nicki's brother had a dark, controversial history, and Cardi's post wasn't just mockery, it was revenge. Nicki hit back instantly, posting an old picture of Cardi in a Barney suit from the 2018 Fashion Week fight that started their feud. It was poetic and cruel all at once, a callback to the night they almost came to blows. The nostalgia hit hard. The visual war brought old wounds back into the spotlight, and every repost, every meme became ammo for stans. It was no longer about who was right or wrong, it was about who could humiliate the other more publicly. Their old wounds were bleeding again, and the internet was loving every drop. That's when a surprise third player entered the arena, JT from City Girls. Out of nowhere, she jumped into the chaos, mocking Cardi's chart positions and calling her ugly and mad. Fans immediately saw it as strategic, believing JT was trying to earn Nicki's favor. It wasn't random either. Cardi had dissed JT months ago in Magnet, calling her Nicki's lapdog and clowning her for riding for the queen without ever getting a feature. So when JT jumped in, it felt rehearsed, almost like Nicki had sent her to do cleanup work. Fans started stitching receipts, creating timelines, and exposing old messages showing how JT had previously praised Cardi. The betrayal felt personal, and now the internet had a new rivalry within the main feud, Cardi versus JT. It was getting harder to keep track of who was fighting who, but one thing was clear: Nicki was building alliances while Cardi was fighting solo and winning. JT didn't stop at verbal jabs. She used real-world scandals to strike deeper. When stylist Chris Griffith resurfaced allegations against Cardi's boyfriend, Stefan, claiming he'd been assaulted and silenced, JT pounced. She tweeted that gay men needed protection, tagging CNN, BuzzFeed, even the White House. But fans saw through the performative outrage. It wasn't activism, it was ammunition. She was using a painful situation to smear Cardi's name, trying to drag her family into the mud. But in a twist no one expected, the internet flipped the mirror on JT. Users flooded her mentions with photos of Lil Uzi Vert, her own boyfriend, wearing feminine outfits and carrying handbags, mocking her double standards. Instead of discrediting Cardi, JT ended up exposing herself. The hypocrisy was too loud to ignore, and the tables were turning once again. Cardi B then delivered what many called the fatal blow. She didn't rant, she strategized. Out of nowhere, she dropped screenshots of private texts between JT and Lil Uzi Vert that painted their relationship as anything but stable. The messages showed JT frustrated, jealous, and emotionally drained, accusing Uzi of still being obsessed with his ex, Brittany Renner. Cardi's caption was colder than ice. She wrote, "I want justice for them babies. Your man make you remove every time. Don't make me play the audio of what he told me about Rock Nation." That single sentence sent shockwaves through the industry. Everyone froze. The mention of Rock Nation implied secrets that could burn bridges beyond music. Fans said Cardi had defeated JT and Nicki in one swing, using their own chaos against them. She didn't just clap back, she detonated. In the aftermath, rumors started swirling like wildfire. Whispers spread that Nicki's label was growing frustrated with the endless controversies. Then came darker allegations, claims of substance abuse, creative control issues, even talk of executives reconsidering her next rollout. Whether true or not, the narrative was shifting fast, and Cardi's camp wasn't denying any of it. It was strategic silence. Suddenly, Nicki's social feeds went dark. Tweets disappeared, followers dropped, and the queen of rap looked cornered for the first time in years. Meanwhile, Cardi's numbers climbed, her streams surged, and headlines everywhere used one word: victory. It wasn't just about music anymore. Cardi had weaponized transparency, authenticity, and timing to dismantle her biggest rival. She turned the internet's chaos into fuel, and the crown looked like it might finally be slipping from Nicki's head. Now, as the smoke clears, fans are left staring at the wreckage of two careers that once defined female rap. Some say Cardi won, she stood her ground, refused to be intimidated, and outplayed the veteran at her own game. Others argue that no one truly wins in a feud, this toxic that every clapback, every leaked text chips away at the legacy both women built. But one thing is undeniable: this was more than just a fight. It was a reckoning. The masks are off, the alliances exposed, and the world's watching to see who rebuilds and who fades. In a culture that thrives on conflict, both queens fed the fire, but Cardi turned the flames into a spotlight. And somewhere behind all the smoke and noise, one question lingers in everyone's mind. When the crown finally falls, who will be brave enough to pick it up next? But just when everyone thought the storm was finally fading, something unexpected began circulating: a private video clip, allegedly connected to Nicki's inner circle, hinting at the very addiction whispers Cardi's fans had been speculating about for weeks. No one knew who leaked it, but the timing was too perfect to be coincidence. It appeared right after Cardi's final round of receipts hit X, almost like the universe was adding its own period to the sentence. The video wasn't graphic or explicit, but it painted a picture of fragility, a stark contrast to the flawless, larger-than-life image Nicki had maintained for years. Some said it was edited, others swore it was real, but the damage was instant. Blogs ran with it, fans dissected every frame, and suddenly the queen who had once ruled untouched looked human, even haunted. The conversation shifted from rivalry to empathy, from applause to concern. Cardi didn't comment, but silence spoke louder than any diss could. Whether or not she leaked it, her shadow lingered over the narrative like a fingerprint on glass. And deep down, everyone knew this feud had crossed the point of no return. The aftermath feels like the quiet after an explosion. The timelines have calmed, but the air is still thick with tension. Nicki hasn't publicly addressed the clip, her label hasn't released statements, and Cardi's moved on to teasing new music almost as if she's rewriting history in real time. But fans can feel it. The energy's different now. This wasn't just another online spat, it was a shift in power, a changing of tides. For years, Nicki Minaj's dominance was untouchable. She was the sun everyone orbited. But after this, the solar system's changed. Cardi B didn't just win an argument, she rewired how female rap power works in the modern era. What used to be a monarchy now feels like an uprising. And maybe that's what this war was really about. Not hatred, not envy, but evolution. The painful birth of a new order. Still, as the dust settles, one question echoes through every comment section, every podcast, every stan account. If the rap game really only has room for one queen, then after this chaos, who still has the crown? And who's just pretending to wear it?